Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building.
Yo. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine.
I love the...
I am happy, Sarah.
Yes,
Thank you.
Your outfit.
Nima just gave me turkey. I mean, she specially... Well, she knows I don't eat goat meat.
Ram.
They're all the same to me. Goat ram. They're all the same to me.
Lagos people, ram and goat are not the same. My children too think ram and goat is the same. I said, if you're brought up in Lagos, you don't know the difference.
I don't know the difference.
You have turkey. Oh, fantastic.
So she gave me turkey. I haven't opened it yet.
Well, it's nicely grilled.
I'll eat gari when I get to shrine.
That's what I'm having for
Gari,
lunch.
is it pepper turkey?
I couldn't pepper the turkey this year. I just fried everything dry.
Okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll find pepper.
I wanted to bring yaji for you. You know you usually use
The yaji sauce.
yaji pepper.
How are you
for
doing, Nima?
I'm fine now. I'm happy. I have hangover, stress over from cooking yesterday, but it was fun. I had my friends come around to help. I put salad food. We are still in salad mood. So I'll be doing salad again tomorrow. Yes, at my mother's. So we've not done salad all around. Salad continues till Sunday.
Yes, so because there was no traffic today and I left the house late. I was so
A lot of people probably traveled and they're not back yet. So that's what we had. Okay, Mariam, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm amazing. I was just having a conversation recently with someone, and he used to be an Uber driver, and I said, why did he stop? He said he did it for only a few months. He was saying that because it takes up too much of his time, he doesn't get enough time to sleep. And this is not a rich, wealthy person. And he says for him, it's important that his health comes first. I know sometimes when people make some of these decisions, we just assume, oh, the person is not focused enough, not ambitious enough, not pushing enough. But some people actually put some things more important than just making money. And it's important to know that not everyone that is not making that big money is lazy or not chasing it. But,
Or is unhappy.
Or is unhappy. But they are chasing other things that bring them happiness, and for them that is success. And it was just eye-opening, a fresh perspective.
Good. When
you are sounding very dull today. What's up?
Oh my Lord, are you for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Don't worry, the Lord is our strength.
Okay.
And
Today,
everything is well. It's
Is
fine.
it you had too much salad? Meat?
Possibly. Interestingly, I cooked for the first time, as in the salad cooking. You know, I told you that my boss gave me a goat. So I just said, okay, so my PA said, let's do it ourselves. I was surprised. I got the adogon, the everything. They killed it. I mean, for me, I've never cooked that kind of quantity of meat in my life before. I mean, she's like, we can do it. I'm like, this quantity of meat. And it was seasoned and fried. I was like, so simple. It's not as difficult as we make it look, you know? So it was interesting. It was
So you're
good.
going back to your Muslim roots.
just helping you out.
I'm just helping out. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, we're going to start with the nation. COVID-19 infection rose by 77% in 1 week. Hey. Don't destroy Nigeria's image, presidency cautions. 2 million young Nigerians to get UNICEF job training. Benin Republic yet to arraign agitator Igboho. Residents protest over abandoned 22 billion naira Akure Ado Road project. Generator fume kills family of 4 in Kwara. Nigeria, UAE in talks over gold illegally ferried to Dubai. Let's start with the major headline.
Yes,
Well,
I've
Mariam.
got the major headline, and it's talking about how things are looking as regards COVID-19 infections. And it's just saying that in the past week, we've had a 77% increase in the cases. And this is also alongside the fact that recoveries have also dropped, where we used to have hundreds of recoveries in a day. Now I think it was only a little over 50 something that recovered. You know, the deaths have also increased, and it just NCDC is just telling us that we should just be more careful and observant of the guidelines, and that the Delta variant is real. It spreads faster, and its effects are even, you know, worse than the one we already know. So that's it. Just not good news, and so that means we should be more careful.
Okay.
Sunday Igboho story.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Waki.
Yeah, the lawyer has shed light on how he was captured, or how he was arrested, not captured. He was in the plane already with his wife and his brother when they said there was an alert that he was wanted, and they came down. And when they got down out of the plane, they actually put up a fight. Sunday Igboho was beaten and his arm injured. They still put him in handcuffs. And the Benin Republic have said, no, they have to do everything properly. They can't just extradite him. And
They're waiting for those courts. Because I know there was a protest also at the courts, right?
Yeah, at the court and in Ibadan.
Yes.
The one in Ibadan was dispersed by police. And in fact, when they got to the court, the protesters, they thought he would be arraigned that day, but he wasn't.
Okay.
So they were just there.
So we're still waiting. I think it was supposed to be arraigned yesterday, Wednesday, so that didn't happen. So we'll see what happens today.
I have the UNICEF
story.
I have the UNICEF story.
Go ahead, please.
So, young Nigerians between the age of 10 and 24 will be benefiting from this multi-collaborative training between our federal government and UNICEF, and they have plenty of partners. They started the program called Gen U in 2018, and they have collaborations with about 200 partners. They are supposed to train them in tech, you know, this young initiative, the new, what they call it, AI and all of that. So they are looking at 2023, they would have trained 2 million people, and by 2030, they are looking at training about 20 million young people across the continent. So Nigerians are already in that field.
I got this news about the federal government says that there's a collaboration, legal collaboration within Nigerians and the, I think it's Dubai. So illegal mining of gold is being taken to UAE, and they collect duties on it in Dubai. But they don't pay royalties to Nigerian government. So they're trying to work with the UAE government to seize any gold from Nigeria without certificate of exportation. So if you are taking it illegally from Nigeria, you should get certificate of exploration before. And second, they've also assured us that the Ajaokuta steel will be ready before the end of President Buhari's tenure. Hoping that hopefully, that would be great. They've spoken with the Russian company that built it, and what they said is that they are doing a technical audit. We don't know how the technical audits will take. Before you do a technical audit, before you then agree on the pricing, and then what we hope that indeed that it will be fixed. Okay, let's move on now to the Punch. Benin rejects Igboho's hasty extradition. Lawyers write Germany to stop moves. Hijab-wearing lady parading fake name caught with 465 kg drugs. Generator fumes kill 4 Lagos-based family members in Kwara. Baptist considering ransom to 3 abducted students says we are boxed. 13 killed as bus rams into truck on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Despite aggressive revenue drive, AFG suffers 1.4 trillion naira shortfall. 49 years of waiting, overgrown weeds, impassable road tell Mambila Power Project stories of dashed hope. And sanction officers involved in $274.2 million external loan losses, says Senate. Okay, let's start with the human interest stories in Punch. Who has the generator film story? Why can't you have that? Or?
Yeah, it wasn't really, it just said the family of 4 went home, went to the village for the Salah festivities.
Sure.
They slept with the generator. I'm assuming they slept with the generator in the house. And in the morning, half of them were dead. The other two are in hospital, critically ill.
Oh my God.
And just to advise
We've discussed this
people
thing several times.
not to sleep with the generator in the house. I don't know how people can do that, you know. It's really dangerous.
See, our case is a sad case of, we don't know, helpless when it comes to issues of power, but you cannot outsmart yourself. So if you think your generator is not safe outside, go and sleep in the dark. Put on the torchlight, open your windows and sleep, open doors. But don't put your gen inside.
His generator was downstairs and it was on in the middle of the night. The generator went off. And they say, who is that? They say, come down.
Come and collect it.
Come and find out.
So that's why people put it
That's why
indoors.
people put it in the house.
So, but it's not safe.
But I'd like to
so I
tell you
have-
the story of, the 13 that were killed by the bus.
In Lagos
You know,
Ibadan Expressway.
the truck was stationary. The guy was overtaking another car.
I didn't see what
According
was
to, he didn't see the bus wrongfully overtaking on the wrong side, and then he rammed and killed
Everybody
18
died.
people. Can you imagine? There were 25 of them.
He
13.
survived, you know.
It doesn't say whether he survived or not. Assuming, I don't think he would have survived.
Yeah, because he rolled into that. They all died, so he might have
Yeah.
also died. Really
13.
sad.
Yeah, so there's this lady, her name is Chioma Afam, a 36-year-old who has been arrested by NDLEA. She and her partner, Peace Caleb, a 22-year-old, they were transporting drugs from Onitsha through Makadi, and they were on their way to Gombe. They were arrested with over 296,000 tablets in the Ghana Must Go bags. They said 43 kg of diazepam and 33 kg of Exol 5. That these ladies would wear hijabs and they have different aliases. Especially Choma would like to use these names like Amina, Ifunaya, different names. But, you know, finally, and then she used to use that to avoid being searched during routine checks. But thankfully, this time around, they checked them and they found all this on them.
I have the sad story of the Mambila 49 years after. So, you know, this government, well, this Mambila power project was supposed to help us generate over 3,000 megawatts of power.
Story.
But administration after administration, and now, unlike the one that you're saying before, the Ajakuta Steel Company that is possible before the end of this administration, Mambila doesn't even have the possibility. And you know, they've recontracted this to another Chinese company who's supposed to make things happen like magic, but we're still where we are. If you go, the Punch reporter took a trip down the entire area, and still the roads are as worse as they were before. I think we need to be deliberate if we want to grow this country.
Okay, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. My jet shot at with explosives, fights to control, destroy, says pilot. Catholic bishops condemn FG for alleged selective justice. Emir gives nomadic headsmen 30 days to leave the emirate. Yoruba in Cotonou foiled Igbo's extradition, says lawyer. Again, suspected herdsmen killed 13 in Benue. Editors caution NBC over persistent anti-media policies. 2023 APC will soon pick consensus candidate, says secretary. Okay, let's start with the who has this pilot story.
So, you know, our pilot, Dairo,
Young
is his
man.
name, the young pilot who was rescued recently by the Nigerian Army, was narrating how his flight was brought down. So he said explosives were shot at his plane, and the plane landed, and the bandits started to pursue him round all the villages and places that he went. But he narrated in a very action movie style how he kept trying to detour them, and how he had premonition about this some weeks before. And finally, he got to a village where the villagers were happy. So we hear stories where they say, no, some villages are loyal to bandits, but these villagers that he met were happy to rescue him. The person that he first met him gave him drugs, tried to help with his wounds, you know, gave him clothes to change. And when they took him to the emir, he more than happily, graciously called the Nigerian army to come and rescue him, and that's how he was saved. But the army they raised him, they pursued him everywhere. I mean, sorry, the bandits.
The bandits.
The bandits.
So the
And he says,
He also said that he doesn't know why they're still calling them bandits. And everything was like Boko Haram.
Yeah, exactly.
He said so many things happened to him before that. Like he's putting his phone on his lap and then holding it when he was ejecting from the plane. That saved him.
Yes.
Said it must have only been God that.
Serious. I don't understand. Put his phone.
So if he had because he was ejected with the phone in his hand, he was able to now make the calls. But imagine if he had just left it on his lap and he ejected. He wouldn't have
There's a story that caught my attention. The Emir, Emir of Muri in Taraba State, has given the nomadic herdsmen in his community 30 days ultimatum. According to him, these people came into their communities as neighbors, and they were invited and allowed to stay in the communities. But now they started killing members of his community, and they call them Bororo. That's the nomadic herdsmen from neighboring communities. Bororo, sorry. You came into us to stay in our forest. We allowed you. If you are one of us, which is a Muslim, you will not be killing our people. So therefore, they're saying that they've given their young people directive to shoot at sight. It says that if you are not Muslims, I want to tell you, like we fought the infidels before, we will fight you. So I'm giving you 30 days ultimatum to leave our forest, or after the expiration, we will kill them.
This Emir, which village is it?
Taraba State.
I think they should beef up security around them, following the style that Taraba has had in the past. But we should also make sure that security is good so that people don't resort to self-help.
Yeah.
And he was saying something that was important. He said, he was saying that there was somebody that actually connived with the headsmen. They caught him, took him to the police station. Then the police released him on bail. Yeah. Okay. And they're still seeing him around the community. Okay. That he won't allow that again. That if next person they caught that was conniving, they're going to kill his father, his mother, his entire family members.
That's self-help.
That's self-help.
That's self-help. That is war.
Yeah. That is war.
So, while they are chasing Sunday Igboho and Kanu up and down,
the ones inside our house.
The ones that they are supposed to face, they have not faced them.
All right, let me go. We're going to break. When we come back, we'll continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank goodness. Now that Grandma is here, I can take my leave. My flight is in 2 hours, honey. You know how the traffic is.
But, honey, you still need to drop me off at the hospital.
Oh, not to worry, honey. That has been settled. I booked an appointment already using the Clearline HMO app on my phone.
You know we already have a plan with them.
Wow, interesting.
Clearline HMO provides you with flexible healthcare service right when you need it. You can pre-schedule and book specialist services at your convenience.
Hello, Mama. Is everything fine?
My son, our baby is here.
With Clearline HMO, you've got a health partner with a cutting-edge solution whenever and wherever. Get your health managed by subscribing to any of our healthcare plans available to individuals and corporate organizations. For more information, log on to www.clearlinehmo.net. Clearline HMO, the health insurance people.
Akpa, what's your job?
I help people grow all kinds of things. I help people keep and grow their money, so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
Akpa, you're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Akpa.
ARN, invested in your tomorrow.
Somebody asked me. Why?
It's here again, Equip Season 11, the annual online global music conference for choirs, music ministers, worship leaders, music pastors, instrumentalists, songwriters, and all lovers of gospel music. Facilitators are Donsi Onyekon, Pastor Kunle Ajayi, Onos Ariyo, Buchi, Dr. Soji Israel, USA, Pastor Chris Devan Gwamna, and your host, Dr. Faith Ajiboye. Theme, Spiritual Songs. Date, Saturday, July 24th, 2021. Time, 2 p.m. Registration, choir, 10,000 naira. Individual, 2,000 naira. Pay to the account details on your screen. For enquiries, please call 0803-442-4883. Be equipped. Be empowered to do more. Powered by Today's Music Africa.
Someday when I grow up, I will like to be a great innovator, or a singer, or a doctor, or even a president.
I believe my son can achieve anything. That's why I support his dreams with Twisco. It's a delicious mix of cocoa, malt, and milk. Twisco is fortified with Enafort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that provides the nourishing support to get ahead.
Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to take one more story in Tribune. Yes.
Yeah, so the Nigerian Guild of Editors is saying that Nigerian journalists, and especially their members, are not best friends of terrorists or bandits, and they are never disposed to giving bloodthirsty criminals advantage in coverage, in the media, and that they are just worried about this present NBC rules that directive that just keeps putting the media in a bad light, and saying that they hope that this is not a ploy by the NBC to ban newspaper reviews in broadcasting stations, because it is our view that the role of independent, critical, and trustworthy journalism has never been more important now in our country. And they're also saying that NBC, the government, should be mindful that it's important for freedom to be freedom of expression of speech to be expressed, that they work hand in hand with security, but they should not be pitted against each other. He said they reiterated that there's no security without free media and free expression, and no free expression and free media without security, saying these two terms should come hand in hand and not fight each other in the general interest of the nation.
Exactly. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Igboho protests rock Ibadan, Cotonou, and courts. Again, gunmen strike in Benue, kill 43, raise 50 houses. Return of looted artifacts. Edo Muslims back Oba Benin to take custody. NDLA arrests lady for trafficking 296,000 tabs of illicit drugs. Anambra Guba, I'm ready to win, Ugochukwu Uba says. Media not supporting terrorists, says NGE. Shake up in IPOP. EPA sacked as broadcaster for not following rules. Okay, which story are we taking? Let's start with the artifacts.
So the artifacts mission that will be returning from Europe to Nigeria has been going back and forth with that between the government, whether it's the state government that should receive it or the royal family in Benin. So the chief imam Abdul Fattah Enabulele has pitched the tent with the Oba of Benin, saying that they give him 110%. And I want to join them, that the artifacts should be returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin and not to the state government.
Right.
Yeah, they've sacked, the IPOB have sacked Simon Ekpa, who Kanu had put him as a successor on the radio station, and he's been sacked because he's not following the code of conduct of the media platform. It's very sad because he was handpicked by Nnamdi Kanu, but he's not, so they've had to let him go. Okay.
Moving on to Daily Trust. Insecurity Zamfara, Kebbi, Niger lead as gunmen kill over 1,000 Nigerians in 1 month. Small-scale farmers raise alarm over poor access to fertilizer. Gunmen kill 3-month-old baby, 12 others in Benue. FG cancels 7% surcharge on aircraft and spare parts. 2023 will field consensus candidates, say APC. Kidnappers abduct 6 residents in Abuja. FG lost 54.1 billion naira in exchange rate on external loan. Okay, let's start with the fertilizer story.
Yes, the fertilizer, the farmers, and especially the small-scale farmers, have declared the cost of fertilizers, and because of that, they've avoided buying them. So, according to this report, even the MPK fertilizer, that one goes for 14 to 15,000, and the urea one goes for 11,500 to 12,000. And the people, we were all excited when Dangote fertilizer came into the market, hoping that it will bring it to the normal Nigerian price, because the federal government subsidizes this one at 5,000, between 5,000 to 6,000. But then, when you get to the market, the wholesale and all the other market factors still makes it expensive and difficult to buy. But Dangote's fertilizers came into the market not far from the price of the foreign ones. It's selling at 13,000 to 13,500. So what will be the difference? And we need this particular products to help assist farmers if we really truly want to be food sufficient. But I don't know why it's happening when governments will give them, tax rebates. Yes. Okay. They give them tax off for importation of these fertilizers. They also subsidize it at market price, but then we see this business of people inflating prices happening in the market and discouraging farmers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have this story where gunmen have suspected to be kidnappers, they say. They went into this area in Gwagwalada in Abuja, and they abducted 6 residents of that area. And the head of the area of that community saying this is like since January, since this year, this is like the 9th attack that the people of his community have suffered. That these particular ones that happened on Monday came in shooting sporadically, positioned themselves in strategic areas, then went into 3 homes and took people out, and they've gone with them. They haven't contacted them yet, so they don't know, but they've spoken to the police. The report says that they tried to speak to the police in charge of that area, and they couldn't get in touch. So we don't have any report from the police side concerning this particular kidnap. To hear that this is the 9th one this year already. Just one community.
When I was in Abuja, they told me, they said, don't walk around.
Careful.
Just stay in your hotel.
Yes.
Don't walk.
But you can kidnap anybody at any time.
Can you imagine?
But the story I have is on Benue State. Another really sad story. A 3-month-old baby and 12 others were killed by gunmen in Benue State. They said that was around at, I think it was in the afternoon on Tuesday, doing a burial in Tokola. And people who were coming back from the burial came under attack. And these people were killed. It was about 10 p.m., yes, on Tuesday. And there was another attack in several different spots, different people killed. And the gunmen shot at children.
They shot the child in the chest, a 3-month-old baby. You know, I think it's so terrible. These people, they don't have hearts. They are heartless.
No conscience.
I mean, no heart, no conscience, no human feeling.
I don't know I can only imagine what the governor is going through in that state. What he seems helpless. He doesn't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. What do these gunmen want? Is it money? Only money that you let you kill a child?
You know, they are giving him an ultimatum. The last time they came, they said until he doesn't adhere to the open grazing.
Yes. Okay, I think our final paper is The Guardian. I'm not sure there's any story we've not taken. Nigeria has lost its soul, Catholic Bishop tells Buhari. Diplomatic stalemate in Benin over Igbo's detention and extradition. Editorial, federalism is the answer after all. Again, APC forecloses third-term bid for real. I mean, this according to the APC leader, they said that was a rumor, that they had no third-term plans, and they are working together to get a candidate for 2023. Okay,
I saw that yesterday, and I was thinking it should not be. But the list of making the papers again.
Politics.
Politics. The president to run when he's 100 or what? I don't
understand. Anyway, any other story we've not taken at all? Any story that's
okay, except the SSG.
The
SSG one? Okay.
No, IPOP guy, he didn't sign the code of conduct. That's why they sacked him.
Oh, that's why he was
Not because he didn't follow it, but because he didn't sign it.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, and then the Bayelsa SSG's mom was abducted. She's an octogenarian. She was abducted, I think they said 10 p.m. on Tuesday. They haven't heard anything from them yet, asking for a ransom.
Do you know the worst part of her own? It's not her first time of being abducted.
Wow.
She has been abducted before. Can you imagine? So she's their customer.
And that's sad.
What is happening in this country? We are just taking it as... because it's not happening to anybody that we know directly. It is serious.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, it's Thursday. We want our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
After purchasing Adron's land, this is the gift we got, the Ileya gift. I purchased the land and here's the gift items as regards the Ileya promo. For giving me 3 rams. I actually collected one last week. And these are the remaining ones. Fulfilled the promises. I made the purchase and they gave me what they promised I was going to get for it.
They are very real and reliable. You can trust them any day, anytime.
Adron Homes, making the incredible affordable.
Why do we do it? Hide, cover up, tone down. Choose boldness. Celebrate the skin you're in and dress with confidence with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. The triple layered care of deep moisture serum, precious cocoa butter, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Wear your skin with pride every time with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion.
Calling all secondary school female students in Nigeria. This is your chance to demonstrate your debating skills and win great prizes too. The TVC Women's Network is looking for entries to our first ever female debate championship. If you want to take part, send a 300-word essay on the topic why female education is important in Nigeria. Send your essay via our website tvcommunications.tv/TWN Female Debate Championship. Don't forget to include your name, age, and the name of your school. Closing date for entries is July 26th. The TVC Female Debate Championship, encouraging young Nigerian girls to speak up for nation building.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Looking for some drama?
Yes.
Sit back and catch up with the slaps. Yeah, lots of slap. The drama is endless on TVC.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slapped, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't.
Entertainment is an opportunity to share. Entertainment is an opportunity to create conversation. As an actor, I have the opportunity to portray different kinds of people, and these different kinds of people represent different people in different ways, represent a part of us in different ways, and it just helps us see the world in a different light. It gives joy, it gives happiness, it gives sadness sometimes, because sometimes we have to look at the realities of the world, and I think entertainment just shows the world as it is.
Thanks for staying with us. So this segment is mainly about Nigerians abroad and generally about our conduct, both on issues of marriage, decorum, behavior, and different ways that have been observed. So there was a video we picked up. I think the video actually trended last year or a couple of years ago, but it was necessary for this conversation. Dr. Nkechi Harry made this video. He was trying to point out in various ways and instances that African women in the diaspora have totally lost their values and culture. Watch this video, then we'll continue with the conversation.
Nigerian women, East African women, women from Ghana, they have no cultural identity. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean. You see, I work in an industry which is information technology. In information technology, there is one country that really, really stands out when you talk about information technology, and it's India. Indians, for some weird reason, I don't know how they got into that thing in the cultural context. Everybody maybe went in for IT. The whole country made a powerful reference to IT, just like China made a huge push into industrialization that deals with tools. The idea of having the tools to make a car or make a shoe, heavy industrialization that they can use to serve the world. India went into this heavy thing about information technology. In my 12 years of working in information technology, everywhere I go, it's loaded with Indians. If the information technology, for example, if a place has maybe 20,000 workers, I'm talking about a huge place, in which maybe 10,000 of their workers are engineers, software engineers, computer engineers, so on and so forth. I can assure you that of the 10,000, 9,500 will be Indians. So what has been my exposure there? Indian women. They're the one, they're 4 feet, some of them little 4 feet, things, small things that are making dream money. They came direct from the village.
That part of the video is not what we're talking about.
All right, thanks for staying with us. So the part what he's talking about is not relevant to the conversation. The real conversation I wanted to have concerning that video was where he was referring to the identity of Africans abroad. And he was specific to the fact that when African women especially begin to earn money, so according to him, the Indian, the Chinese women, they earn from $100,000 to $180,000 annually, and they're still humble, they don't lose their culture, they are still, they are quite humble, with their family. But Africans, on the other hand, especially Nigerians and probably Ghanaians, ordinary $80,000 a year as a nurse, we begin to boss our spouses, and we want to buy multiple cars, buy designer wares, use the foreign and American justice system against our husbands. And that's when we remember that we have rights, and we try to tell them that they also should be taking care of the babies, bathing the children, taking the trash. Well, you know, the Chinese, the Indians still retain their culture of, is this subservience or culture of humility towards their spouses. That's on one end. Now, the other issue of conduct, which I'd like us to link at some point, is the video that trended of the Falcons. We'll try to show that clip to you also. Our own Falcons were on a public bus when they were attacked by another Nigerian living abroad, accusing them of representing a terrorist country, Nigeria, and almost assaulting them, verbally assaulting them. So the issue now is conduct. Now, let's start with the issue of marriage and family, and then we'll come to the issue of the Falcons in a bit. What are your thoughts? When you saw this video, what came to mind? Do you agree, do you disagree with him?
Let me address Dr. Nkechi first. Nigerian women, we have suffered. Africa, we have suffered. Every time our men find the opportunity to talk negative, they start to describe. I'm sure he's describing his mother too, sisters, everybody. Because the issues are the same, whether we are in Nigeria or abroad. We are overworked women. And the moment you have the courage to say, I need help to your husband, you have stood up to him. When your husband can beat you here, I know women who took the domestic violence from their husband, or the battery from the husbands, and they were pursuing visas. Because they know when they cross border, they will have mouth to talk. Because we are here when family members attend family meetings to resolve conflicts between couples that involve domestic violence. What did you do to him? You two, behave yourself now. Don't stand up. If his sister talks at him, does he slap his sister? If his mother knocks his head, does he beat his mother? That you know you allow him is okay because he paid bride price. Because that's what everybody talks about. That he has done her a privilege of removing her from her father's house, that she now has misses in front of her. So the consequence of it is to be beaten, battered, and insulted. Emotional abuse is even worse. You tell the woman, you are beneath me, you can't be more than me. You destroy a woman because of that. And the moment the woman can speak up, they'll say no, it's because she has crossed borders. It's the same issues.
We use this phrase, politics is local. The same, when issues of marriage sometimes is local, it's cultural. So when you hear people talk like this, are we also using a foreign system to analyze or to resolve our own local issues? So for example, if there's a problem within the family, like this man said, and maybe the Chinese community or the Indian community, they have ways of solving it. But we've emancipated like the American women. So we go there, we use the American justice system, forgetting that our family issues is local. I'm just trying to put a different angle.
Okay, so I have seen... Okay, from the man speaking, I can tell he's at least of African descent. So he's very familiar with the African issues. That's on one hand. Because the issues that he has highlighted that the African women have, and particularly Nigerian and Ghanaian women, where they seem to pick up accents, wear hairs that are not theirs, and just all of a sudden have attitude and attitude problems and just rude maybe towards their husbands. And he says Indians and Chinese are not like that. Well, I have seen videos from India where there's a campaign talking about how the men seem to put their wives down and overwork them. And, you know, they put them in ads and different things where they're encouraging men to put their hands and involve themselves in how the home is run. There's a very popular one that shows an Indian woman. She gets up in the morning, she puts food on the table, she does this, she does that. She goes out to work, she comes back, she takes care of the children. The husband comes, switches on the TV, his legs up, and her father is watching and he's sad because he realized he did that to her mother, and then he joins her to help her, and then they're talking to Indian men to put their hands. So maybe you don't understand. So instead of comparing, let's just say that he's talking about what he is familiar with. Now, the part that he has highlighted for me, that women have found a voice where, in the cases where they have been abused, where they have been, you know...
subservient.
Yes. I don't think that's a bad thing. We have parts of our culture that we should encourage, that we should hold on to. That is true. Where we speak our language and we hold our identity with so much pride. But then there are parts of our culture, especially when it comes in marriage and how men and women act within marriage, where the man is the head and however he behaves, you know, especially where the woman starts to earn money. We see that, we've seen those videos now where Nigerian men were killing their wives who are nurses because she's earning the money and not bringing back home and not handing it over to him because I'm the man. I brought you to this country. So you must pay. You must pay me. Everything you earn, you must give it to me. And the woman is saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. I am now in a country where I even have a voice. I can go to the legal system and they'll answer me. So in that case, concerning that particular one, I don't agree with this man.
Let me come to Waike. What are your thoughts? Because you've seen abroad and you know a lot of Nigerians living abroad. So
I watched the video. I've watched the video many times because I found it really hilarious. And what I like about what he said was that we lose our identity. While I think that women should not be slaves to their men, I do not agree with that. And maybe Indians, I don't know about Indians, I don't know their culture. I don't care about their culture. I care about my own culture. So if Indian women want to be slaves to their husband, that's their own cup of tea. What he said about African women losing their identity, they go and buy their hair, and they'll be like, oh, so strong. They will be like, so I understood him from that point of view. Right. Why do African women, Africans, not even just African women, men as well, lose their culture because they are in... As an African person, man, woman, girl, child, boy, everything.
Thank you, Waike.
Why can't you retain who you are and be proud of that culture? Why must you be... Look, our young hip-hoppers today, because American artists wear sunglasses, all of them wear sunglasses inside the nights. So why must Africans lose their identity?
So I can think on this table, we all agree with the first part, that he shouldn't condemn women who are emancipated enough to become, to speak up. We understand that very clearly. But the angle we're going to right now is the issue of culture, identity. And I will share an example with you. When a Nigerian family travels abroad, their mentality is, I don't want to stay with black people. I want to stay in the white community. And if they are maybe like doctors and they're very wealthy, they find a white community. And their pride, well, we're the only black people here. There's my children's school, he's the only black person. For them, that's pride. Now, when that child goes into a black-white community, he's still an outsider because no matter what, they don't see him as an insider. Truth. He grows up hearing about African-American community, hearing that, oh, they're there, wishing that he was part of them. He loses something. He now grows up. I know a family that one child killed himself. And that one, I think something happened. I can't remember, 2 disasters happened in their family because they were totally secluded from the African-American community. They wanted to just make them feel like, you're different from them. So is that identity issue? Why do we go there and want to become white? Not even African-Americans. We want to just be totally white. And but there's the other Nigerian community that they stay with each other. I know the Igbo community in Texas. They help each other. They grow together. They form a whole community. And those ones are able to raise their children. Well, I don't have all the facts. Somebody can come and say that you're wrong. But I know there's a community in Texas that have been able to grow raise their children, they meet each other. Annual, so we see Indians, the Chinese, they have the Indian community, the Chinese community, and they're still able to retain their culture. But we find ourselves in different communities.
Not generalized, but let me be very careful. But Indians are very abusive of the female gender, all their cultures. You know, you can retain a family's dignity by killing your sister for the mention of seeing her with somebody toasting her. And these cultures are things that Indians are fighting with their media ads and all of those things Miriam talked about. In India, as a mother-in-law, I can just hate my daughter-in-law and tell my son, she looked at me somehow, I will slap her. And the videos are everywhere that they're advocating to change. So you now pick a community or a culture that you know nothing about to use them to compare to your own because you think you know all about it.
You know what he said? What he said was that... we have to go on a break?
No. Say, land your point and we're going to break.
What he said was that they still retain their culture. We're not talking about... Leave their songs. Leave their songs.
The second part of it.
Let us talk about maintaining your culture. You see them, they still wear their saris. How many African women do you see without the hair? How many African women do you see without the Gucci bag?
I see Indian girls in bomb shorts, so...
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. I would love to hear about Nigerians in diaspora. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
In a world of a pandemic, the need to relieve stress cannot be overemphasized.
Pride Rock Entertainment presents the most entertaining, mind-blowing comedy event of the year. The Chronicles of Hush Baby Live returns. Ya Daddy 15, the vaccine edition. Taking place on the 25th of July at the prestigious Eko Hotel and Suites, Lagos. Time at 6 p.m. Comedy vaccines by Dr. Destoka, Dr. Igo Save, Dr. Akpororo, Dr. Dan the Humorous, Dr. Bucci, Dr. Tamama, and many more physicians. Music vaccines by Jazz music superstars, and on the wheels, your host, Hush Baby. For reservation and sponsorship, please call 0802-990-6500. Please note, this event is for a limited audience, with all COVID-19 protocols duly observed. Proudly supported by New Age Charger and TVC Max FM. Packaged by Larry Mako Events. Get vaccinated.
Children are gifts and a source of joy. When they are happy, we're happy too. But when they are down with sickness such as malaria, we become sad and worried. Not to worry, Camosunate Anti-Malarial for Children has always been there for years. Camosunate also comes in tablets for adults. Bounce back from malaria with Camosunate. Confirm if Camosunate is original by texting to... Read the leaflet inside. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult your doctor. Camosunate, effective anti-malaria for all ages. Marketed by Genith Pharmaceuticals Limited.
With my pregnancy, I started looking for the best of everything for my baby. When I met Molfix Newborn, I said this is the diaper I'm looking for. The formula of happiness for me is Molfix Newborn. There are no harmful substances in Molfix. I feel very comfortable while my baby sleeps peacefully. With its special umbilical cord and soft upper surface. Come on, mothers, try Molfix Newborn and join our happiness movement.
Somebody asked me. It's here again, Equip Season 11, the annual online global music conference for choirs, music ministers, worship leaders, music pastors, instrumentalists, songwriters, and all lovers of gospel music. Facilitators are Donsi Onyekon, Pastor Kunle Ajayi, Onos Ario, Bucci, Dr. Soji Israel, USA, Pastor Chris Devan Guamna, and your host, Dr. Faith Ajiboye. Theme, Spiritual Songs. Date, Saturday, July 24th, 2021. Time, 2 p.m. Registration, choir, 10,000 naira. Individual, 2,000 naira. Pay to the account details on your screen. For enquiries, please call 0803-442-4883. Be equipped. Be empowered to do more. Powered by Today's Music Africa.
All right, so thanks for staying with us. We're still on the issue of culture, and I know Mariam had a point, yes?
Yeah, so concerning cultural identity, and I love the example that you gave where when we're raising our children abroad, we hear it. I didn't grow up abroad, but, you know, we hear it. There's definitely pride in saying that you are amongst white people. And it's what we were sold, what we were taught. And we were taught that to be white is better, to be white-skinned is better, and everything that comes from the white side of the world is better. They are more intelligent, they are, you know, they think, they are smarter, and things like that. And I don't know, maybe it's just the socioeconomic realities of Africa and Black American communities where we also tend to see violence, or it could be that media highlights only that side of the black community, where it's usually violence and lack of education. So Nigerians living here are looking at that, and I don't want to take my child out of Africa and take him into that community. Right. Like I'm running from this here, and then I'll take them. I want to take them to the one that is highlighted on the media, where they are intelligent people. They have Bill Gates, so they have Mark Zuckerberg. Look at the sort of people that they have there. That's what I want for my child. So really, we're trying to just align ourselves with the positives of that culture. But in doing that, we make the mistake of making a person feel that if you are not like them completely, then there's nothing good about you. It's important that we're able to speak the way that we speak and not have our fellow Nigerians laugh at you like, why are you pronouncing your words like that? You know.
Let me take this call. Good morning from the UK. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm there. I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mariah. Well, the
volume is a bit low.
The honor killing is happened with Pakistan, not India. So
I can't hear you, sir. The volume is low.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. Olalekan, go ahead, please. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry about that.
So for me, there's the serious issue of identity loss and inferiority complex. I believe that for you to take your child abroad and insist on the white community, even though it might be for safety reasons as portrayed by media, I think you suffer inferiority complex and you would most likely pass it to the child that you're trying to expose otherwise, because like Maria said, that child remains a minority in that community and might even suffer worse levels of racism than you can expect, that you can imagine. And they may not share with you the level of racism that they suffer, and whatever mental consequence of it that they grew up with will be your business. So I think a safe community is a safe community, whether white or black. Let your reasons be deliberate. Know what exactly you're looking for, not so that you believe a race is superior to yours and expose your child because you think then your child will be more brilliant and intelligent. You can expose your child to all the Oprah Winfrey's, their own set of people, and find a way to live in communities where they live. If you think, because your child will feel included in that, because she can see that like her.
One of the points this gentleman was trying to make, Nima, was the fact that in other communities, so the Indian communities, you give birth to an Indian child there, he understands his language, he speaks his language, born and raised in America, still has their, yes, they can be muddy, you can have the American culture, no doubt, but he understands, sometimes they even have the tonality of their roots. Same thing with the Chinese. You give birth to see a Chinese, yes, the Chinese American, but he still speaks his language. But for Africans, many of us, we don't want our children to speak our language. Even us living abroad, we don't speak our language to our children. That's what he's saying. So that identity crisis is what we're talking about. Because of that, the factors we've experienced in Africa, we come there and we don't want anything to do with anything black. I know I had that problem when it seemed that when I was a high flyer, I just got to school, president of this, Student Government Association. I was just doing all this, and of course, because I was that, my deans knew me. But the African-American community just felt, what's this African? Just come and suddenly you're now involved in all this community work. You know, are you the only one that is here? And there was this friction between the black, the Africans, and then the African-Americans. They just felt like we over Sabi. So we were just the ones doing also. But it was after some years, we realized that, listen, this is the community you still have to identify with at some point. And I'm happy that Nigerians and Americans have almost been able to merge both, because now we have more connections with the African-American communities. But my question, ladies, is why are we not able to build African communities successfully, to be wealthy, to help others, as the Chinese do, as the Indians do? How come we don't? You go there, you yourself, your family and your children alone. You're not trying to help other Africans, other blacks like you. It's just me, myself, and I. You want to become a doctor and just be successful.
You know, okay.
No, I mean, I
have a call. Let me take this call. I'll come to you. Kalu, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I just want to brief for the seconds and what we're talking about, the community and African culture. And secondly, the long discussion we said about a wife being or misbehaved is taken abroad. Nenuma, I am not agree with you in terms of beating or taking abroad. The woman will be stubborn. Let me just give you an instance. The Bible said it. I didn't know whether the other Quran said it, that a woman be submissive. 99%, we left our culture, and shift other package. Morayo, you mentioned one of the things last time, because I keep on following when you talk about marriage issue. When you told your husband that when you say something like your husband take care of the home, like generator, school fees, and other things, but you said take care of the kitchen, another package. But at the end of the day, your wife, your husband, when you see expenses you did in the kitchen, you remember your husband say, we agree on this issue, that this and that. And you said it clearly that 99% this man is struggle and work very hard to make sure that everything is okay. And you encourage that day that every man, every woman should understand men that it's not easy. School fees and other bills.
Oh, yes, good. So let me just quickly say here that if a man is doing his role and it makes the home conducive for his wife, I'm not saying she should speak up to him. I clearly said abusive men find reasons to justify abuse. In my experience, when they beat their wife, they call her non-submissive. I'm asking, does beating require her to submit? And if
this man wasn't talking about men beating.
No, he says he disagrees, and I know what I said.
This man that called the man, the video.
I know, I'm addressing the caller now. So if for that reason, I want to reiterate what I said. If you're in an abusive relationship in Nigeria or in abroad, speak up and leave. Fight and get your freedom, because you need to be a whole person to raise your children. Absolutely. And a dead woman cannot fight to raise her children.
I'm not going to go into abusive because we all disagree. We're all on the same page when it comes to abusive marriages. Where we are coming from is where the man was coming from was where because you are in America, you've lost your identity. I'm just saying it's a marriage, it's a partnership, and you now become the boss. If the man became the boss, you will have a problem with that. Yes. You now become the boss because you're earning more, and then you start saying, say you now buy your hair, and you say, I'm an American. That's where the man was coming from.
So maybe we should define what it is to be in a marriage in Nigeria and the rules. So when we talk about it like
abroad,
I know, and see how we can export it abroad. So if you're in Nigeria now, who is the head of the home, and how does the relationship work in symbiotic relationship? So that when you go abroad, it's not that time when you now speak up or you because you're earning more. If you earn more, you're abusive to your husband, it's wrong.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Like I said, I would like to hear from Nigerians abroad. Please call in. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Tomorrow. Happy. It's a dream. So you see this peace of mind that I have. It's because I just finished building my house. Roller property. Roller property. They are the one that run it too. Even though they are running a promo now, if you go and buy land from them outright, they will give you 20% discount. Even if you don't want to pay outright, you can still pay instrumental. You pay instrumental for 24 months. Meanwhile, after all of this goody that they have give you, you know when they will still give you RAM when you deposit. They will give you electronic. They will give you food stuff. I'm even saying too much. I'm saying too much. Go to Roller Property by yourself. Go and find out.
In a world of a pandemic, the need to relieve stress cannot be overemphasized.
Pride Rock Entertainment presents the most entertaining, mind-blowing comedy event of the year. The Chronicles of Hush Baby Live returns. Yeah Daddy 15, the vaccine edition. Taking place on the 25th of July at the prestigious Eko Hotel and Suites, Lagos. Time at 6 p.m. Comedy vaccines by Dr. Destalker, Dr. Igo Save, Dr. Akpororo, Dr. Dan the Humorous, Dr. Bucci, Dr. Tamama, and many more physicians. Music vaccines by my jazz music superstars. And on the wheels, Yo co-host, Ash Baby. For reservation and sponsorship, please call 0802-990-6500. Please note, this event is for a limited audience, with all COVID-19 protocols duly observed. Proudly supported by New Age Charger and TVC Max FM. Packaged by Larry Mako Events. Get vaccinated.
Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in our country and the world at large, we have channeled our manpower to increase capacity for the production of medical ambulances. Though it has not been easy, as our core values involve responding to emergency situations and managing to deliver fast against all odds. Innocent vehicles will continue to satisfy the automobile needs of our country, both in emergency and normal situations. For country and for God, innocent vehicles drive with pride.
All right, thanks for staying with us. I think, so before the break, we're still on this issue of identity. And I'd really like to hear from Nigerians living abroad, you know, because it's always good to have a better understanding. I mean, what we're comparing is the fact that in Nigerian communities, it seems like there is no identity of Africanness in us. We've adopted the foreign culture and way of life. But when we see other cultures, it seems like they retain theirs. And the question today is, how does that happen? Do we need to retain ours? Or is the idea really to morph into this new Nigerian-American identity that has nothing African in it?
So I was going to say that my own is, look, even from here, we start from here.
Yeah.
When we start watching TV, too much... So we try to copy the African-American, the way he talks, we do this, you know, whereas the African-American is looking for an identity to identify with Africans. And when they get to
even more African-American.
They now see, we are even worse than them. So they too are lost because they are now between the devil and the deep blue sea because the Africans that they wanted to look up to are trying to be Americans. So who are they? All I'm saying is, I think that Africans, men, women, children, everybody, we should just try and retain. I will use Miriam as an example. Miriam, the other day, said on this show that her daughter said to her that, she was just going out with her hair, and the mom said, Mommy, you don't want to look glam today?
Gorgeous.
And she said, you didn't wear your wig. So her daughter associated glam mommy with wigs. Yeah. So she's being conditioned not to believe in her Africanness, not to believe that doing your hair, weaving your hair is. I've seen maybe I said that they have not said anything. She had been doing her hair like this. And you now see what I've been trying to say, that you are losing your identity. It's bad enough that your own identity is lost. It's that your child will now lose her identity.
So we can't blame those Nigerians living abroad. We are all guilty, right?
Exactly.
So it starts from here.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there? It's been holding for a while.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Please, something is happening here. And it has to do with us as black race. Black race in the sense that we were discovered. and we refuse to rediscover ourselves. Because even in Nigeria here, in many elite towns, many of them do not even speak their local language. They don't even speak their local language to their children. Talk less of their children picking up from them. Talk less of America. When they get there, they become something else. Nigeria, wherever they go to, they do this copy and paste. Very, very unfortunate. And about marriage, my message is to the educated women. They don't respect their husband and they are not submissive. And they always think they can live the marriage by law. You can't use law to live marriage. Marriage is about understanding. No man will ever enslave his wife. No man will ever enslave somebody he loves. But the issue with this educated people is this. I know my right. Where is the right? All the burdens rest with men in Africa. Yanni said it the other time. Now look, the society is not clear to men because everything is for men, everything is for men. You shoulder all the responsibility. And after that, they took insults as your payback. And you are expecting matrimonial harmony in this.
Thank you very much, Hassan.
Okay.
Yes, Mariam.
So, you see this talk of cultural identity, and it's a long time coming. It's years and years and years of conditioning. So there's one that we always blame, like this generation. Oh, you don't even know how to speak your language. How do you teach your children? We grew up, I remember growing up, in school, you dare not speak a Nigerian language. It was called vernacular. And you would put money in a bottle for every time you in a glass jar, for every time you used a Nigerian. So we had a system in place then that conditioned us not to be proud or speak in corporate places, speak our language in corporate places. And here we are today, we're parents. And I'm seeing a shift in our thinking where those who can are trying to encourage that. But secondly, there's also what is happening globally. Our world is now becoming much smaller. People are learning skills. So it's not only because I want to be like a white man. It's also that we're looking at opportunities and we're looking at benefits. So the culture has now become a culture of what are the opportunities and the benefits that I can get from this place so that my children do not have to suffer the maybe injustices or the things that are not going on in their own community. So people are not necessarily doing it because they hate themselves, but they're picking up these things because it is associated with more money, better education, better jobs. That's what is happening. So that's the cultural identity, in that place. But
Okay,
also there's one that seems to put everything on top of the head of a woman. Like it's the woman's hair and the way that she speaks and the way that she conducts herself in marriage. Mr. Hassan was just talking about the educated woman. Right. That we need to speak to educated women, how they handle marriages. There are so many factors in why a marriage would end. But the educated woman has something your uneducated woman doesn't have, which is her rights and also accessibility to, and accessibility to maybe the courts and other opportunities that she can fall back on if that marriage fails.
Let me take this call. I've been holding for a while. Hello, good morning. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, you're live. Go ahead, please.
First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Morayo, and your team for the job that you do.
Thank you, sir.
I am speaking from a very personal experience point of view.
Okay.
The disaster with marriage in Europe is that it's not a fertile ground for African marriage to thrive. And most Nigerian women, when they find themselves in Europe, they are taught that everything is about their rights. Everything you do that your partner does not like is termed abuse. From emotional abuse, financial abuse, to all manner of behavior termed abuse is the foundation of the disaster of Nigerian marriages in Europe and America. Nigerian families should, and wives particularly, should know that the Asian women, they hold on to their identities, their culture, while living in Europe. In the same European community where you find the average Nigerian woman will term anything she doesn't like as an abuse. The Asian women, the Indian women, they hold on to their culture. And that's how their marriages are better sustained than the African marriages. So Nigerian women should know, and once it happens that they lose their identity, they lose their marriage, and that's how the same effect trickles down to their children.
Thank you, New Page. I want to take this conversation to raising children abroad because, you see, I have a story of a woman, a family. I mean, this is a woman who was sharing her story with me. That it's not her child. They did everything to let the child go to Harvard. I mean, all their world savings was taken. This child went to Harvard. Now it was their pride that their child was in Harvard. So from sophomore year to graduation year, it was a thing. He had Harvard friends, white community, and he was fine. He was on the football team. But at the point of graduation, when Onika Luku now, everybody now went back to their family members. You've graduated, you have your certificate. It's not the Harvard that gets you the job. It's the connection of your parents that gets you the job. They did everything to get their child into Harvard, but their child couldn't get a proper job. Why? Because the level of job you should be looking for as a Harvard graduate, it is not your connection. It's usually the parents or the connection that your community has. So he was just there, a Nigerian child. He was left with nothing. He had to come back to Nigeria because there was no connection to get him a good job of Harvard. He came back to Nigeria and joined the job market like everybody else. And it's just still raising up. The point I'm trying to make is that we have this view of my child must go into this community of white people. And when he goes there, they will now show you after graduation that, yes, we are together, but when you leave, we're not the same. They will go back to their lineage. They will go back to their connections, and you will go back to where you're starting from as an African. You're going to find your way. So it is how do we raise children, Africans, Nigerians? How do we build systems to ensure that when our children do go to this Harvard, they have somewhere within the foreign community to grow or even come back home to grow?
You need family goals. So a man, just like most scholars go, I'm so disappointed today by, how Hassan said educated women. If a man does not know where he wants his family to go, his wife will be focused on the wrong thing, and they would completely distract and misdirect children that they are raising. You have to be a unit to raise proper children. And it's not about arguing. So a woman who wants to be treated fairly, equitably in her marriage, when she respects her husband when he's talking, she wants to be respected, not called, "S, where's my food there?" in front of her children, And, a few times when she does something for you, you say a kind word of thank you. If she gets that, both of you will focus on raising proper children. Not that she's in court trying to get a freedom. You are holding on to the children to fight back. And that's disorganization, which we are failing to address when we face women alone. Now, because of those different distractions, we see children growing up and the system continues like that.
Yeah. Let me take this. We should address our quick break. When we come back, we continue. I really want to touch this issue of Falcons, but it's looking like we're staying on this. Stay with us to be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Somebody asked me.
It's here again. Equip Season 11, the annual online global music conference for choirs, music ministers, worship leaders, music pastors, instrumentalists, songwriters, and all lovers of gospel music. Facilitators are Donsi Onyekon, Pastor Kunle Ajayi, Onos Ario, Buchi, Dr. Soji Israel, USA, Pastor Chris Devan Guamna, and your host, Dr. Faith Ajiboye. Theme, Spiritual Songs. Date, Saturday, July 24th, 2021. Time, 2 p.m. Registration, choir, 10,000 naira. Individual, 2,000 naira. Pay to the account details on your screen. For enquiries, please call 0803-442-4883. Be equipped. Be empowered to do more. Powered by Today's Music Africa.
He's not my real father. But you already know this, Lara darling. Yes. But after 25 years, she just told me who my real father is.
Baby, come inside now. Where is it in the car?
Introducing Glow U2 plans. Feast your eyes from as low as 50 naira for 1 hour. Simply dial *777#.
Someday when I grow up, I would like to be a great innovator, or a singer, or a doctor, or even a president.
I believe my son can achieve anything. That's why I support his dreams with Twisco. It's a delicious mix of cocoa, malt, and milk. Twisco is fortified with Enfort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that provides the nourishing support to get ahead.
Twisco, power your dream.
Place and it brighten, make everybody be wonder. Waiting because of the shine. Lush hair, lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair, lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Thanks for staying with us. So we certainly can't exhaust this issue of cultural identity because we really would like to hear from Nigerians abroad. But I know the phone lines are a bit jammed right now. We'll keep hoping to get your calls. Let's take a few messages before we move on to the Falcons story. Yes, Mikey, give us a few messages. Tubes.
A few tubes? Yeah. Her one says, accent hair is not culture. You talk like an African in America, you will struggle to land a job.
Ojevo is Josephine says, like my father will say, fall for me, I fall for you, play go sweet. So love is not about one-sided submissiveness. ID Noble says, men cannot be submissive, but they must love their wives. And
Chris Ehi Brian says, we're all shouting women are not submissive, but are the men submissive to their wives? Let's turn the table. Women are also human beings.
Then Bilikis Mafe says, I partly agree with you. The beauty of our diverse cultures isn't being practiced enough because it is usually one-sided. It favors one gender over the other if we can find a balance.
Let me take Ade from London. Ade, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
To all of you, please.
Yes, good to have you. Go ahead.
I really want to touch on this issue.
Yes.
You people are talking about the Indian. Don't you realize that the Indian women pay dowry on their husbands?
Thanks.
Because there are too many women in there. So they have to submit. Otherwise, the man will go for another one. He will pay for his dowry as well. That's number one. Number two, Brazil.
Please call Ade Baku. Hello? Ade? Hey, we need to... We really like to speak to Nigerians abroad. Please.
Okomfon says, with all that is being said here about women, how they go abroad and no longer become submissive, it just shows that as Africans, most men don't know what being submissive as a wife truly means.
Let me take
Angela, I just want to take it. Clearly, Africans don't really know how oppressed the Asian women are in their marriages and societies. Talk to some of them, and you'll be so shocked. They literally have no voice in their marriage.
So Madam Wabu says, having been living abroad for many years, there's a serious identity crisis with many African families. We copy the wrong things abroad. Many marriages are breaking down because most of the women are copying the Western lifestyle with less value for family life all marriages. The value put on family life abroad is not strong, and there are a lot of dysfunctional families and breakdown. We need to maintain our African family values, which believes in a strong family value, and a woman is a builder and must always be reminded abuse should be a no-no, but our African women easily break their homes like Western counterparts.
Okay, I have a call from Austria. Joseph, are you there?
Austria.
Yeah, hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Yeah, what I want to say is, although I'm a first-time caller,
welcome to the show.
You guys for a long time now. What I want to say is this: it all boils down to the education.
Okay.
Be it the formal or the informal education.
Okay.
As Miriam said something about the issue of vernacular and so. This was foisted on us in school because we adopted the official language as English. Now, the problem is this: at home, when the parent trains the child, they speak the language. When you go to the school, your teacher trains you to speak the official language. So, the problem now is that when both parties have the good lines, it helps to bring up a child formally. There was a program sometimes here in Austria here for cultural diversity, and they brought up from 150 countries in the city of Graz where I am. They wanted them to speak their language. The Chinese, the other could speak their language, but the Africans couldn't speak their language, and the Austrians were very annoyed. And they said, please, parents, teach your children your language when they are at home. When they get to school, they will teach them, they will learn the German language and the English.
Right.
And then the next thing, when it comes to also the issue of the submissiveness of wives to parents and all these things, the issue, people don't spend time with each other enough.
Right. Austria, just let me stay with you for a minute because we're about to talk about the issue of the Super Falcons, and I know that you're in Austria where this happened. Did you hear about the news, the fact that the one Nigerian...
Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
I saw that thing on the thing.
Yes. Did you hear about the news?
I believe that that man has his brain upside down.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph, for your thoughts. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's talk about this happened. So for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, the Super Falcons were on the public bus, and a Nigerian accosted them, accused them of representing a terrorist government, representing Buhari for coming to play, representing Nigeria. You can watch this clip for a second. Let's review it together.
This organization, a terrorist government. You Nigerian youth should be very ashamed of yourselves. Every one of you here should be very, very ashamed of yourself. I will speak to you. This can't happen in another European country that their youth are representing a government. Stay quiet, stay quiet, stay quiet. A football.
Okay, YK. Okay, let me come to Mariam, your thoughts on this.
Okay, so first, I'm of two minds when it comes to this. First, I felt that he assaulted them and embarrassed them and embarrassed our country. These are people who are, for me, those young ladies are representing Nigeria. It's not about the different administrations or what one person feels about it. They are representing their families, their friends, their culture, the Nigeria that we all believe in. I feel that sporting events, that's what the sporting events are for. And that sometimes we should take the politics out so that we can all enjoy, because usually it's when we have these sporting events that we put aside all our differences and we celebrate together as one. Now, secondly, the other part that I have is that I've seen in America where people take the knee during basketball games and all their football games to highlight some of their political issues, some of socio-political issues that they're going through. We know about the Black Lives Matter. So I don't know if this man is saying to them, in your sport, I think it would have been better if the man says to them, in doing this, also raise the awareness of what Nigeria is going through. There's so many people being kidnapped and, you know now what we're going through in Nigeria, the insecurity and things like that. If it was a conversation on how do we use our presence here in Europe to highlight some of our issues so that we get international support or international recognition for that. That is better. But for this one, he seemed to be castigating them for doing something right, in my opinion.
My own issue, apart from everything else, is why do our government people like to undermine us as Africans, as Nigerians? Why must they be inside the public transport? Number one. Why? Why can they not rent bus? What is in it that Nigerian government cannot rent bus for them? Must they be in public transport? Because if they were inside bus, nobody can assault them. Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
So you have already made them feel less than they are by putting them inside a public bus.
True.
Come on, do you see Man U or Chelsea or whoever inside? You can't even see them on the road because they will have their private cars. You see, these people, whether it's footballers, basketball, whoever they are, once they're representing Nigeria, they should be given that sense of pride.
Yeah.
True.
Simple.
True.
Simple.
Yes.
And the government failed them. That is why that guy was allowed
what
to
if he had a weapon, YK? What if he had a weapon? So that is like we keep sabotaging ourselves. I mean, it's so difficult sometimes being a Nigerian. You know, you work your way to become a star, and yet you're still not giving that backup as a country with your come from the country. It's quite sad.
I must agree with YK and Miriam, both sides. I think that he assaulted them verbally. He confronted them and provoked them, and they were extremely patient with him. If he does it in Oshodi, he himself no. He will not go away with it. But it happened in Austria. So he can be telling them, I will call the police on you. But they should have called the police on him. He assaulted them. He should not have been allowed. And in fact, the least punishment should be that he's taken to a psychiatric home. It can't be normal. That man had the most unpatriotic behavior by attacking. People who are already, our government have already insulted. By allowing them go and stop a bus for them to go for a match that they are representing the country. We know all the funds that we know they use as extra codes for ministers that are not necessarily needed in China to go and to escort the one that is needed there to go and get a loan.
Okay, so
but we cannot.
So
we will not
coming
sign
to me
and
that
release
it's
money
even
on time.
possibly a train. If it's a train, why couldn't you still get a private
You can no, but you can rent a coach.
I don't care whether it was a train,
you can rent a coach,
bus,
a train,
anything. It's still public transport.
You can rent a coach and you lease it privately.
Wait, I traveled for many years on tour. Now, at the beginning of our career, we used to hire bus, train. We used to go inside. We didn't hire. We will see us like bush people carrying our load. By the time 2-3 years into tours, they stopped it. They hired buses for us.
Yes.
By the time I retired from dancing, we were sleeper buses, so we could travel overnight, comfortable.
Thank you, YK.
Comfortable. So me, I know that it can be done. Now, our own leaders, you cannot meet our leader on the road because that's who this man should be.
Yes,
that's who he should be attacking.
They met the statue governor on the road. That was the statue. So former governor, Okorocha. I met him in the bus one time in the train.
No, not even that one. There was a mention. There was a time when in Germany, I think.
He was at the venue now that they faced him now.
But you know, but the truth is,
it was at the venue they met him.
But the truth is, our government people, when they travel with the privileges they overenjoy.
They can afford taxi.
But the people that are representing us, the people who will sweat out to give us good names, who will finally put our names there in gold, at tournaments and all of that, are the ones we treat the least as the least important people. We expose them to a lunatic like this who could call them names in a bus and even threaten and insult them and provoke them. If one of them had reacted, it would not be another bad image for our country.
Nigerians are fighting on the bus.
I'm fighting, but look at the level of provocation. Me, I cannot imagine somebody points camera in my face. Like this, in my country, even if it's abroad, that I will not react. So these people are extremely patient people. And they did their best. I think they should be commended. I think the least the government can do now is to commend the crop of Nigerians.
So let's talk about Nigerians abroad who are genuinely aggrieved about the way things are in Nigeria. So this man is coming from a place of hurt. If things are going well in Nigeria, he wouldn't have accosted our Falcons like this. So they also want something to be able to be done drastically. Now, how can we engage Nigerians abroad in their grievances? What can they do to support, to help? What can they do to support our fight here at home to ensure for good governance? Because that's the root cause of this thing that he did. He really is frustrated about what's happening in Nigeria. That's the bottom line.
First of all, he should stop attacking ordinary Nigerians.
Yeah,
and start looking for government
just
people
as a group that
when they come.
No, no, that's not nice. Don't look for government people. Because they're also...
Since he can attack
why is he attacking? Suffering what we are suffering now?
The reason that they're on the bus that you saw them, they are just as aggrieved as the rest of Nigerians. But imagine if he used that opportunity to politely and decently introduce himself and explain to them
and even encourage them
and say to them, this is what we're going through, and when we watch it, was so upset and was so angry. And I questioned the youth, how do you see it? Now ask their opinion. How do you feel? Imagine the sort of things that they may tell you, what it caused them to even be able to come together. Because we've had so many stories of how these
their uniforms don't come on time.
Yes, uniforms don't come on time. Sometimes they have to put their money together to pay for where they have to stay until government sends money to them. Yeah. Those are the things he would have gotten. And then together they would have made something, said something, and Nigerians would have heard even better. But here you came and you just insulted people's children. And then when they said, you know Nigeria now, and you see one thing with Nigerian elders, when one was trying to talk, say, shut up, sit down there. We always want to be the elder wherever it is, and we don't respect ourselves, but we want respect to be given to us.
So, someone says here on the tube, says, maybe they even gave them money to rent, but somebody collected the money. Can you remember one?
We must think the worst. Hey, Nigerians.
Something that happened so many times.
Nima, you don't remember one that we took it on this table. When I think it was Brazil, the football in Brazil.
The uniform did not come on time.
Then they said that the money was on the plane. The money disappeared from the plane, inside the plane. Yes. I said, look at the money don't fly, go inside plane. Come on, you know these officials. They have to stop it. They have to stop these officials.
We would definitely like to hear from the. I mean, we now have the Minister of Youth and Sports. I mean, he's a young man, and I'm sure he's taking measures to make changes. So we'd like to hear from him and what is done to protect these people going forward. But I want us to really look at how these Nigerians abroad, because as I said, they're also Nigerians. They're just as frustrated as we are. And they want to exert their grievances, just sometimes they don't know how to.
Well,
yeah.
Some of the most frustrated Nigerians that I think that, you know, have the right cause to be aggrieved are sports people. We see Arab nations come to tournaments that Nigerians have gone in the past and scout our people. Arab countries don't give visas or stay to any country except, you know, they need that person. It's only for professionals that they need that they will give you certain privileges, Saudi and all of them. But you see, when you see Nigerians in their team playing, you know that they've gone to offer them mouth-watering things that our government have ignored them for. You know why those people will go for tournament and not return? It's because of the level of disregard. The minister for this will say the money's approval is passing through, and the person is frustrated. Some people buy their own plane tickets to go to countries to represent us. It's in our stories. This will not be said that they accuse anybody.
Did I even tell you the story? I don't know if I sent it to the chat group where the government, they wanted to find out why Nigerians are always running away, why we don't want to. So they sent a committee of people to go. By the time they got to Australia, everybody was dropping. The next country, but it was in China. The chairman of the committee said did not come back. So they are still, the government is still waiting for the report from that committee because all the committee. I don't know whether it's true or whether it's a.
See this thing YK is talking.
But inspired by real events.
No,
the committee
YK
did not come back. The chairman of the committee is in China right now.
It's a painful joke that you are sharing, YK. Supporters Club, when I was a child, I think US 94, we know some of my bros in our area who struggled to be in Supporters Club, and they used to sing, they wear the shirt. These bros used to work out our estate in Ibadan. You will be doing all the Super Eagles. This brother, I never see bros sit. It did not come back. The last time somebody said he was in this country, he came for his father's burial and he went back. He disappeared on Super Eagles Supporters Club things. You know,
Nima, when I got to Australia, consider the plenty. People they went to Australia for one tournament or something. The Olympics, all of them were there. The Australians are the ones that helped them hide.
If ordinary South Africa that they raised, you know where there was the one we did in South Africa? People didn't come back. So I have a
comment. We need to ask ourselves the question, why are Nigerians not staying.
And why are we encouraging it? Our government, when you tell a government official, they make excuses. They take offense.
Yeah.
They call them unpatriotic. But these people, when you see them now, they have genuine grievances why they can't stay.
I have a Nigerian living abroad says that the issue of identity is broader than just the accent. It says that we speak our language to our children, but sometimes we are always in a hurry to go to work. Of course, she's full of regret. She says, now we are regretting it, trying to teach them now. So the truth is that when you enter abroad, you are trying to hustle, two, 3 jobs, trying to get your act together, trying to settle in a new system, make sure your children have a good education. So you're not there trying to transfer any culture. Now, a lot of maybe these Indians and Chinese, maybe it's the man or the breadwinner, one person is doing the chasing, and you are doing the home, nurturing and raising them in your language. So maybe the reverse should happen in Africa, where the women become nurses, because usually when you travel abroad with your family, you throw your wife into the nursing system, where you can learn nursing and have money while you do taxing. Maybe you can be in the house. So maybe the man who is at home should then take on that role of transferring culture, tradition, language, the way of life to the children, because we have to, and I think it's important we go back to what we had said earlier, what Nima said. Let us define the African culture, especially when we travel. What is it in Nigeria? When we go abroad, what is it? Let us define it.
Let's say the truth. Our parents, we are here today, we can speak.
Oh, pause. Let me take 10 minutes. Okay, I don't want to miss that point. Let me talk about you there. So sorry. Hello?
Hello.
I do apologize. Go ahead, please, from the UK.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for discussing this point. I've got 2 things to say. First of all is about our identity that you need to mention. My take on it is the fact that when you have parents, there's so many issues around you that you have to look into. For example, I've got my 21-month-old son. I am considering, okay, which school am I going to put him in? Am I going to put him in a state school? Am I going to put him in a grammar school? Am I going to put him in a private school? And which area am I going to go to? Because I want to give him so much opportunities. But at the same time, I don't want him to lose himself. So I'm thinking of myself to say, okay, if I put him in a state school or in a government school, and we have that opportunity, because many things, I'm sure you know in Nigeria as well, many of our parents put our children in private school because we want them to meet so many people and get opportunities, maybe to get more opportunities in life. So those decisions are made. Some people, I'll say they're making it because they're thinking that, okay, this will give them more opportunities, give their children more opportunities to have better things in life. Some people, maybe they're doing it out of ignorance. And then the second bit that you ladies were discussed this morning, as yet, women and losing their identity. My own take is men need to choose. Do you want to take care of the family, take care of the children, and then the man will take all the responsibilities in the house? Or do you want a woman to go out to work, but then you then need to share her responsibility as a woman? And then you then share her responsibility as a woman. So you help her in the house. While she's helping you to pay the rent, she's helping you to pay bills, you also need to share the responsibility of taking care of the children. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
You can't tell her to be the woman as well as help you to share your responsibility as a man. Men need to decide what they want.
Exactly.
And then you go along with them.
Thank you very
so
much.
much,
Oh,
ladies.
fantastic.
And
Thank you,
you know
Temi. I love the point you made. But you see, the point she raised first concerning the fact that they want to get opportunities for their children, it goes back to the forebearers, I would call them. The Nigerians that went in the 80s, in the 70s, they didn't go there to build institutions, to start a supermarket enterprise. Where one Nigerian, I have somebody right now who's a doctor in America, and he's been there for so many years. He's trying to start a hospital, right? To build, he's about to get licensed to get a hospital, so that when Nigerians are coming abroad, they can have somewhere to come and do their residency. Yes. Because he knows how hard it took him to get a spot. So Nigerians before him, those that went in the 80s, they didn't build. They went there for themselves, me, myself, and my children. So these new Nigerians are coming and they're struggling, trying to see how do I find my own American dream? But if you that had gone in the 80s, in the 70s, and the 90s, had gone there to build an industry, build an enterprise. The way the Chinese do. The way the Chinese and Indians do. When our people are coming in the 2000s, they are seeing a supermarket strip mall owned by Nigerians. They are seeing the businesses owned by Nigerians. Saying, okay, let me start there until I walk my own to start my own. We don't do that. We're so selfish. So it's all of us.
So if you have been born, just like that one you talk about, my cousin
Yes.
abroad built a lab called Butali Lab, and the opportunities he gives Nigeria, especially graduates from the university he finished, Unilag, where he finished in Nigeria, is amazing, and he has been awarded for it over and over. I think what we need to emphasize is that wherever you go, the path that you're taking, somebody must not suffer that you did.
Yes.
You can always make it better and greener for other people. Formula. That's what you do.
That's why the many of them are successful in Texas.
Yes, so
because they're able to replicate that formula.
Exactly.
Nigerians in Texas are very wealthy.
Help create a community where we help ourselves.
Yes.
And so even if the person, because Nigerians are quick to say some Nigerians are difficult to help. I put him in my house and he's now becoming a burden on me and all of that. You can amongst yourself find someone who will talk to you that we don't burden ourselves here. We help ourselves. Yeah. So you must be up and doing.
Let me take a call from Calabar. Iben, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live.
How are you?
Go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to comment on the issue of the guy on the video from Austria.
Yes.
I want to kindly ask, without any prejudice, what he referred to, what he was talking about, is it true? Is it true? Are we going through those crises in our country? Are we being kidnapped? Are we being killed? Are we being raped? Are we being robbed of justice? Is it true? What he was trying to refer to, is it true? Because I want to say, if these things are really true, which is true, whether he confronted them with a slap or with an embrace, shouldn't matter. We should rather be commenting on what he raised, the issue he raised, because we have a very terrible issue in our hands. And if you, from my youth, I know that if you oppress a man too much, he becomes inflated and at the end he bursts out. And when he bursts out, he's not always pleasant. So we should not attack the guy for saying it the way he says. He may have been wrong, that is it. He is wrong in the way he presented it. But we have an issue in our hands.
Iben, let me stay with you. Iben, let me stay with you. There's something Nima always talks about, that we shouldn't always go through the self-help avenue. So in this situation, are the Falcons the right people to express his grievances, to vent on?
Make a video. Yes, I will. No, I will say yes. You know what?
Okay.
Because he saw the Falcons. The politicians who have done this work are out of his reach. They drive in flashy cars abroad from one hotel room to the other and to their residences they bought from our resources. So the people to take the message down, to change the thing, is you and I. Now, let's face the truth. If all Nigerians feel the speech and say, we want a change, we demand these things to stop, the politicians will not be able to do otherwise. They can't withstand us because we are more than them. But we are all afraid because we have one thing or the other at stake. We have our jobs, we don't want to lose it, so we play the hypocrite. We play a lot of hypocrisy. We have political appointments we don't want to lose. We have our businesses, we don't want the government to come up with certain laws to, clamp down on us. Right. Everybody just keeps mute.
Right.
I don't think concerned in this video, message lost.
Yes, so I really do not believe that many Nigerians are quiet. I mean, we have protests and arrests of protesters to show for it. Nigerians are speaking. Yes, maybe not as many as we would like, but we're talking about this particular group of people. They were doing something good. They were doing something for our collective. Was it that feeling of just, of pride? These sorts of events, athletes usually help us, remind us about our unity. And so to put them and vent on them and embarrass and insult them, it was uncalled for. And as you said, message lost. Because these are the people that honestly represent the everyday Nigeria, the man on the street. If you were talking to government officials, because they do travel, if he was talking, or if he was on his phone, putting the camera to his face and speaking and venting about the things, the ills of our country and how it affects him and affects all of us, I think that message would have been more powerful than what he did there.
Right. Miriam, where Ibe is coming from, she's talking from her own frustration. She's asking the things he was asking. Now, if he had put the camera on his face and vented, would the video have gone viral?
Probably.
It would not. I can assure you, because many people have done it, and it didn't go viral. It went viral because it was the Falcons. Now, what he did, I don't agree with what he did, but she's talking from her own frustration that these things are happening. There is insecurity, there is this, there is that.
Right.
So why
Let me take this, Kenneth. Let me take Kenneth. Kenneth has been holding from Moshodi. Good morning, Kenneth. Are you there?
Good morning, ma'am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, how are you? I thank you for what people are doing.
Yes,
I just want to make my own contribution.
Yes, sir.
You see, the issue we are having, I thank the last caller, who made the call, telling you exactly what happened. Now, but people are trying to disagree with because the man spoke to the women. The women should learn to take responsibility. It's not every time, if that man spoke to the men fold, everybody will be happy. But now the man spoke to the women fold, they can take this message back to Nigeria. This is how our people are feeling abroad. They're not happy with what is happening in our system. Because women have always want to measure up. The Falcons were the ones this message was
Okay,
passed
wait,
to.
Ken, let me be sure I understand you. You are turning a conversation about a man who had accosted the Falcons to a gender issue. I don't understand where that's coming from. This has nothing to do with man or woman. This is the fact that a citizen who lives abroad saw fellow citizens who are representing us, you and I in Nigeria. They are trying to do their thing as athletes. And you're now, when it's not a gender issue, please help me understand. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying, I've been following the program since you've been talking. I've been trying to get across from, women, men, the living abroad and all the problems they're having.
Okay, so that one is a different, okay. All right, no problem. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
On issue. Do you understand?
Yes.
And that people are not happy, or your guests are not happy, they are talking to the Falcons. Do you understand me now? Okay. So they are not happy.
Okay, we have to run anyway. Let's take a few messages. I think maybe he's mixing up.
So this is what I wanted to say to Iben when she called, that this man, somebody posted a tweet where YK was tagged, and it was, if you believe that you're truly, if you believe that we can truly call you patriotic, the only people that we can truly call patriotic are those who hold passports or citizenships of other countries but choose to remain in Nigeria despite experiencing extreme difficulties. If you don't get choice, what you go do? This man already has a choice, but you see these young Nigerians who must have gone through even worse things that he left this country for, struggling to represent the country, and you wanted to pass a message to government, and you think it's to accost them and embarrass them that will pass this message. I think it's message lost, wrong method used. So if you find another method, even if you don't want to put your face, find another thing to make it trend, but don't frustrate Nigerians further, because you too, you'll be terrorists. You just terrorize these people. You, in a public bus, put a camera on them, and you see some of the people, Nigerians, in their trying to hide their face, in the hardship that they're being through.
And that is what I don't
Don't tell me your problem is bigger than my problem. All of us in Nigeria, we get the same problem. So we know that we are suffering banditry, kidnapping. A lot of us are living here, struggling, bad roads, and speaking up against these things every day.
Every single day.
Can I take some
Put our kids through it.
And then just to add, where YK was saying something about
he
it may not have trended if he had not done it the way that he did. And that's what I do not like about social media, where you take advantage of people just so that you can trend. Does not make sense.
Yes.
It's wrong.
Yes.
PJ Comedian has found us on Tube. Says, that guy just leveraged on the Falcons so his message can go far. If he saw a politician in that train, he would have done the same. He just used what he had to get what he wanted. Bilikis, sorry, there was another one I saw. He says he hid his face because the politicians will come after his life. That's Chinaza Henry.
Right.
And
we have to wrap up on this, but I think so. Today we've talked.
Ramsey. There are many tubes. This one says, point of correction: the Falcons team is not representing me. Teresa Chicanele says, play the clip in full. He also said Buhari is a terrorist, which. Oh my dear.
Oh
my word.
We have to run here.
This one is an irresponsible man. Even if you don't support this administration, they won't be in government forever. Who is happy with the state of economy right now? This country is blessed, and we have just been unlucky with our leaders.
You see, I think the insurrection that happened earlier this year in the U.S. was was quite illuminating for some of us to see like everybody can go mad. Not just the...
And every country
has its own issues. Both us, the white man, the black man, we all have that coin that can trigger anything. But at the end of the day, that's why there's a government. That's why there's something called democracy. There's a system. Yes, we're angry. We'll keep talking. But we can't harm ourselves because we want to. So yes, we want to protest. We want to do this. But that's why we condemn the fact that there was a protest which was legal, but then hoodlums took advantage to turn that around. So we're saying, yes, we want to legally protest, but don't take advantage of start burning houses, burning businesses. That is not
But there's a school of thought, Mariah, that says the hoodlums that took over were actually sent by government people to disrupt.
That's another school of thought. But it happened
in South
Africa when 100 malls. 400 they had Walmarts. I saw the statistics. 100 malls. So these are Africans. So was it politicians that sent you to go and blow up 100 malls? It's wrong. So as we are getting angry at ourselves, let's not harm each other. Let's vent in the right quarter.
We're not getting angry at ourselves. We're getting angry at, or they are getting angry at the authoritative of the authorities, in short.
Yeah, we have to run.
But they now vent it in the wrong place.
It's very brief. You say, Ife says, you talked about living in abroad, but what about children in Lagos and Ibadan, Oshogbo and the rest? You will call and they'll be telling you
can take on the show. Unfortunately, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Imagine replacing your entire cookware set with a collection of the finest pans designed and made of the highest quality craftsmanship. And imagine your entire cookware set built using